both. I'd like to talk about a couple of things. How does non-living matter turn into living matter? And also something from nothing, that I would argue there has never been nothing.
Well, you've certainly gone for the most complicated scientific questions of our time. Congratulations. Do you have things to say about that?
Well, I should first say, the question was, in case people found it difficult to hear, the first
the call quality is not great, I'm afraid.
He's calling from a long way away. Give him a break.
Yeah, sure.
How does living matter come from non-living matter? And the honest answer, I think, scientifically speaking, is we don't yet know. I think that's the honest answer. And
there are a variety
There are many theories.
What? Oh, sorry. People are talking in my ear who aren't broadcasting.
And I think that's a genuinely challenging scientific mystery. And one of the great things about science is that it enables us to accept that we don't yet understand or know the answers to all the questions that we might want to have an answer to. And we have the intellectual responsibility, in my mind at least, to develop the capacity to be okay with not knowing everything. The universe doesn't owe us an answer, but we have some good theories, and it's probably, molecules of increasing complexity developing over time in a pseudo-evolutionary process.
I've done some reading about abiogenesis, and I'm a
Say that word again.
Abiogenesis.
Ooh, gives me chills.
And I would never claim to be an expert on it. The only formal education I have is mainly in computer science and engineering, with a minor in politics. Does not make me the most qualified authority to talk about very challenging scientific theories about things that happened so distantly in the past that it is difficult to recreate or duplicate the evidence that we do have.
You're pretty old though, Russell.
Oh yeah, sure. I was almost there, but not quite.
You were almost an eyewitness to abiogenesis.
But the thing is, me discussing, I forget what it was, I think Stuart Kauffman's autocatalytic cycles is a really cool idea, and the problem with it is not that it couldn't work, it's that the question is not how could life have come from non-life, it's how did life come from non-life. And that is actually something that is especially challenging because it's hard to winnow down all the different theories that we have. And I don't know if you really called because you want me to explain this thing instead of just recommending a book for you to read.
No, not really. I would say there's two unprovable conclusions, that either life came about by pure chance, or you could say
none of the theories say pure chance. That is not how science views the question.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, with intelligent manipulation or without intelligent manipulation. Yeah. And I would go a step further and say that intelligent manipulator is actually God.
Well, I mean, I didn't accept that there is an intelligent manipulator. For one thing, as far as we've ever seen, the existence of intelligence only exists as a result of a long process of evolution, and not as a precursor to it.
But it does seem like a bit of a mystery, right? Just to go a little bit along this road with Edward, that something as miraculous and multifaceted as life could have come into being from a world and a universe that didn't have any of it before. But I think it becomes a little less mysterious when we realize that there are lots of complex patterns in the universe that are not life forms, but are highly complex, that are, I think you would accept, created by, or at least capable of being created by natural processes. So we see things like...
Would he? I'm not sure.
Maybe you wouldn't, but to give some examples, we see things like the striation of rock in a cliff face, or we see the cycles of pulsars, which can give out extraordinarily complex repeating patterns and things like that. We see all sorts of patterning in nature that is not life, but is very complex and comes out because of natural processes. And so, given that, it seems to me not so mysterious that something like life could emerge, at least very simple life.
Yeah, so well, we all agree that energy can slow down into physical and become aware of itself temporarily in the form of a human being.
Wait.
I didn't know that.
What?
I was not aware of that.
That we all agree is a little deceptive, especially when you bring in something that is so vaguely worded. I'm not sure if I agree with that yet.
Yeah, well, science, the observation, scientists are saying that physical is slowed down energy, and there's lots of...
I'm aware that mass and energy convert into each other. I'm not sure that saying slowing it down is the scientifically correct way to describe that process. I only had a couple of years of physics, but...
Yeah, but it can, however you want to label it, it can become aware of itself temporarily.
What do you mean by it becoming aware of itself?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that question as well.
Physical or energy, as you've already said. It can become aware of itself.
You just said the same thing again. I said, what do you mean by it?
Oh, sorry. What part?
So when you say energy can become aware of itself, can you say a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, that human beings are made out of physical.
Okay.
And whatever process you want to use, I would say God made us and manipulated the non-living matter. So we all agree that we are intelligent, we're thinking, and we're conscious, and so therefore we are physical. We have become aware of ourselves, but in a different, like non-living matter is obviously not conscious, but we are conscious. Mm-hmm. So, and that this is all intelligent manipulation of the energy into physical into living matter, or 3D protein printers that use 20 left-handed amino acids, and then into whichever process you want to use. I would say God just turned mud into human beings. But
why would you say? Oh, wait. Are you? So when you say God just turned mud into human beings, are you a young earther, or are you being poetic there? I mean, are you Genesis happened more or less literally the way it says, in that God just said, I'm going to take a clay thing and make it a man? Is that how you think it happened?
Yeah, that's right. So God created the first humans.
Okay. So you not only want these unanswered questions to be answered for you here today by a couple of non-scientists. You actually are, as you said, taking it a step further and saying that the evidence that the universe is billions of years old is bunk, and that a relatively very, very short time ago, the way that you explain all the complexities of life is that an even bigger, more complex guy just essentially said, let there be a thing, and then it happened. And then bypass all the rest of the stuff about any of the other scientific concepts of the formation of planets or stars or people. That pretty much sums up your point of view, right?
No, not really. So God manipulated energy into physical and made the universe, and then the process. Yeah, I agree with advantageous mutation, natural selection.
But over like within the last 10,000 years, not within a few billion years.
Well, for human beings, Adam and Eve were created 6,000 years ago.
Okay. Sorry, James, at the top of this show, you were saying that you want us to try to imagine what it's like to believe this stuff.
It's very difficult.
And it is difficult.
So the challenge for me with taking that perspective is that, as you were saying, there is a huge amount of physical evidence that human beings have been around on this planet for an awfully lot longer than that.
Yeah, like written history alone goes way back.
Yes.
Like there is no possible way for ancient Chinese civilizations to have done all they did when that would have been before Adam and Eve supposedly existed.
Yes, that would have been much before they supposedly existed.
So it's not even a scientific question, it's one of written history.
Right, and if we were to take this perspective, then we would have to take the perspective that much of what we think about the history of our own species is presumably falsely placed there to mislead us. And I think that's a kind of tragic position to take, because the richness of human history, which has so much potential to enlighten us and to help us live our own lives more wisely, is kind of lost because so the implications of this belief are kind of catastrophic for everything that we know about ourselves and where we've come from. Like some of my favorite things to learn about, I should probably not hit my microphone, some of my favorite things to learn about are the ancient histories of people in the world. And it sounds to me, I mean, do you believe, Edward, that what do you think about the ancient Egyptian civilizations, or, as you say, ancient Chinese or Mesopotamian civilizations? You think that they just didn't exist?
Yeah, kept God's people as slaves, and we can see evidence of all of this, but it's just the timing's wrong. But the whole system is a satanically run system. So
satanically run system.
So awesome. you do think that much of this evidence, I'm just extrapolating from what you said, so correct me if I'm wrong, is put there to mislead us about our own history?
Yeah, but not only that, it's also religion, including Christendom, which is a tool to deceive humanity. So the churches and the Catholics killing each other with the illusion of countries of Britain and Germany, they all killed each other. They're in cahoots with governments. Government is ruled by a gun, and also the illusion of commerce. The food is actually free, and all the land was divided up before we was born.
Okay, well, that's a cool story, and I'm glad I heard it today. And I'm going to move on to another caller.
Thank you for calling. It was nice to hear a voice from my homeland.